What's up, chillers? Yet another episode. It's episode
18
of season
2.
My name is Seppi.
I'm DJ Black Velvet.
And Church Girl is here.
We're putting it on the table, but before we put it on the table, a big shout out to Casino all the way in Melrose for having us here. It's incredible. Come out and check out their wine selection. Come out and check out their food.
That was amazing.
Their food is divine. And of course, they have a beautiful lounge that you can come and chill in as well. This is where we're going to be having our event.
Yay!
27.
I can tell you now, their chicken wings rock, hey? I had chicken wings and halloumi. Oh, I'm going to have it again on the women's event.
I had pasta and prawns.
Lack of ramp. Lack of ramp.
Lamb rack.
Lack of ramp.
Lamb rack, duck one.
Oh,
It's
lamb.
okay.
Are those girls you shouldn't take to the restaurant?
No.
Okay, kupa lamp. Kupa salmon. Those girls you should not do that. So shout out to Cuisino. Really do appreciate you.
Great food.
You'll
indeed.
also be coming through here to check out the space and also to check out our podcast that we'll be shooting on the day and generally just chilling as ladies. It's going to be an awesome one. Details are going to be coming soon as well on the Jen's podcast and our podcast as well. So look out for that. But let's put it on the table and have a chat, ladies. Why do you ladies buy love? Why do you buy a relationship? Kali? Let's discuss that. I'm putting it on the table. We've all done it.
See, what's hanging?
What do you
Okay,
mean,
okay, no,
though?
we've all done it. Sorry, I have not done it.
Speaking of, what do you mean?
Like
we
how
buy love?
you used rent money.
So
That.
let's open it then for you to understand what we mean. Women, ladies, you have taken out a loan for that guy who marinated you enough for you to get a loan. You have given that man your pension money.
Bruh.
Okay? You have made that man come and move into the apartment that you lived in, but he did not pay rent or a damn cent to it. You have taken your card and you've slipped it under the table at a restaurant so that he can take it, so that he can
He
pay.
can pay the bill.
So that he can still maintain his ego.
Yo, I'm guilty of everything that you just
Girl, you have bought this guy clothes. Ex-repo relibon. They buy the ex-repo. Ladies, we have seen you do so many things to try and keep this man, and it has left you in debt. You sold your mother's house so that you and this nigga can go buy a truck that was written in his name and not yours.
And the business.
Okay? You have given this man pension money because this man said, I want to start an Uber business. Hello, reka Toyota Corolla.
No way, Sariki Forex.
Gone. Right?
Yeah.
You have done it. You have been guilty of it. It's a safe space. It's okay. We've all been a clown to someone. We've all been a fool to someone. It's all about learning. We've learned, and ideally we should be moving on and knowing that abafana baphiwa imali Kelly. Have you done it before? Have you gotten to a point where changes your father as the beneficiary of your shit and put this boy as the beneficiary of your pension? Of your father's pension. Ladies, why do you buy gens and you buy love and you buy relationships? Like I said, it's a safe space. I might judge you. They won't.
I don't know about
It's on the table.
But don't judge me. Guys, this conversation.
It's getting hot in here. This conversation is rough. I'm a riff. It's because sometimes ngisuke ngitshela ukuthi ngi-cash building akha la. I'm building a home. I'm building. Kanti yay, nigga. I've done it before in my previous relationship. I've done it, but lucky for me, it was one of the contributions to why the relationship ended, and it ended in tears.
Of course, duh.
And obviously, I was lucky enough.
Sure.
I was lucky enough to have been able to pay off the debt. I had taken out, I think about 12K for a loan to finance a business. And
His
yo,
business.
guys,
His business.
yeah.
My left ear malfunction.
And Yazin, it was even worse because later I even found out, yo, as smart as I thought I was, yo, at that time, I think I was stigmatized. The dig game was so good that you even forget to check, to have a contract in place to say, okay, if I'm going to lend you this money, you must pay it back.
They will never suggest contracts themselves.
You know, hey, but good bad, guys. So we did buy a stock to kick off the business. We were selling. We were selling building material, ironic. and can I tell you, the father was in on the scam, guys.
Whose father?
His father. He was
Shit,
in
you
on the
got dropped
scam.
by a family, dog.
And this is why I'm saying he was in on the scam. So customers would come and say, we would like an X amount of bricks, ne?
Okay.
Child, I'll never see that money. I was just here with so-and-so came, and I'd be like, where's the money? And they'd be like, no, you'll finish it off with Ukai. And Guy would come and he'd give me all types of excuses as to, where's the money?
Look, you were an angel investor. It's okay. Silent investor.
Hey, I would advise women to do not. I repeat, do not.
Yeah, those who haven't done it, they mustn't. But maybe let's deal with the
Those
issue.
who
Those who
have.
have.
Have you done it,
know,
Nolu?
rent money.
What did you do?
Rent money.
You ate the rent money.
She bought
I
a
bought
phone
him a
with the
phone.
rent
Don't
money.
you remember?
And her mom had given her the rent money. So instead of paying rent, girl decided to buy a phone. Tell the story, my friend.
No, I'm not telling this story. I'm not reliving my past.
You're
I don't
the-
even remember who he is. Bani wa
boy.
P for what?
For a boy.
Yes, yes.
For a boy.
That I don't even remember.
I think the most I've ever done for a guy truly was
Uber Eats.
You?
Yeah, ek specialist mo. I've calmed down there actually on the Uber Eats part because now it's like it's a little dog tano and shit.
Oh.
And then no, so the most I've ever done financially for a guy, shit, nothing, hey? Like I don't make that mistake. I think the one mistake I did do, and maybe I did speak about it before, was a guy who owed me. Look, we were fucking then, we weren't dating. I've said it before that I gave him 2K and I ended up repossessing his bike in order for him to give me. Yeah, so I've mentioned that before.
Were you
But
guys still
that's-
together when you repossessed
No, we
the
were
bike?
not dating.
Oh,
we
they were
never
not.
were dating. We were just, well, all right. Let's say it nicely. We were exchanging
but
a few things. And that's what happened. And this guy, I gave him 2K. That's literally the only amount of money I can ever think of ever giving a guy money. Like taking money out to say, here, I am giving. Yeah, because I don't even know how it will come about. Do you know what I mean? Like, and I keep 100 rand, say, oh, I've got change. Swara, Samoraka. That's one thing. I'm now talking massive amounts of monies, like 12,000. Taking a loan. Look, I even think the guys I'm with would know. Like, they would be so shy to even say, "Ke kopa o ntshetse tjhelete." And continue to be shy. And for me, and
good for
look,
you.
and once again, I'm so sorry if this will
Banentloni,
sit you
man.
sideways. Be shy, my darling.
Banentloni.
When you come across hard times, be shy.
But guys, it also happens. Correct me if I'm wrong. There's women that have done it
You are
and
wrong.
it paid off. No, man, tell us in the comments, have you done it and how did it go for you? Like
So you're saying the ones who have done it,
the ones that have done it and it abanye bayazilobola, guys. Let's not, and it's worked in their favor. Like
you are
Guys,
not
this conversation.
wrong. Can I tell you guys? I had a friend of mine when I lived in KZN. Hey, bashi.
Uthethe indaba zabantu,
Bashimani bafethu. My friend lived with this guy, and they were dating for a very long time, trying to rekindle. Well, not trying to. I suppose they're building towards something. I can already bomb the builder. So he wasn't paying rent. He was living with her, but she'd also give the money that she has. And, you know, she wasn't working the greatest jobs at that time, but she's got enough to sort of sustain herself and, I suppose, sustain this man ultimately. Can I tell you? This man would take all the money that she was giving him to go pay lobola for his girlfriend.
Whoa.
Oh, and you might ask whether the girlfriend is my friend. No.
Hey,
I heard
so
you.
your boyfriend takes money to pay lobola for me.
Yes, exactly.
And it's money that I give you. So when I banga, your savings plan now. I'm your Capitec savings pocket. And you take that. I get. And then you go pay. I nka se gafe.
Mabashiso bafana.
Leraro nka se gafe na. Leraro nka se fishe ga geno ke a jang.
We must try to answer the question as why do we do it? Because
Why?
like if I think about my experience, guy never asked me. And I think majority of the time, or some that I know, they never ask and say, Tebi, give me 12,000. But it's a conversation that we are having. Go to you know what? I want to start a business. Exactly.
Look, okay, let's be serious. Ne? Outside of the fact that I would never do it. But I don't think I'm exempt from asking the question and understanding where the women who have done it are coming from.
That's why I said, when I did it, I wanted to keep him faithful. No, if I think about it now, honestly, no, it was my way of bless my heart. No, guys, you see the guys now, they're all judging.
They're just like,
It's so weird that I'm laughing, and I would probably say I did it for the same reasons.
No, guys, nyani.
We're doing it because first, Mina, in my experience, I thought I was buying your loyalty. I thought, you know what, me helping you in this situation, your financial situation and financing your business is going to
show
us,
that I'm a potential
to show that I'm a good potential. And, we are headed in the right direction. We are building because, Bati, siya kulisana, siya akan, but ngoku, I would never.
Nah, I never saw a future with this guy. God.
God.
No, I wasn't. I never saw a future with him, and that's how we even parted ways. Like in a good way, though. It wasn't better. But as I said, I wanted him to be. It was my way of buying his loyalty. I never caught him cheating, but I knew at the back of my mind that he probably was. Like I had this thing. I had this thing. You're good to know he is. He is, and I would do my best, even if it wasn't just the rent money. But I mean, when I got paid or I had money, I would say, "Let's go for lunch." We'd go to the waterfront, and I think most of the time, I was the one who paid. I know he did pay for a few dates, but I was trying to prove to him that I'm a good one to have around.
Many of those.
Yeah, I was trying to prove to him that I'm a good one to have around. We're gonna have a good time. We're gonna go to places, see things. We're gonna have a good time. Just stick with me, and he stuck with me. Until I left him.
Here's my thing. Right now, there's a lady who's watching this podcast
And who?
in the office who got dropped off Kakuloya High.
Yo.
And this guy drove off and is going to come back and fetch you in your car. Or this guy is using your car. You're going to Uber to and from work, but you have a car. You are paying 2 installments of 2 cars. Yours
And his.
and his.
Yours and yours.
And also you're still waiting for the proof of payment. He said, I've got you. I'll pay half. You're still waiting for the proof of payment. Why are we so oblivious and so blind when it comes to the person that we love? Because these are people that you love. I'm not talking about buying Ben 10.
Love
That's
is
that's a different conversation, right? And I don't want the conversation to only end in financial currency, because then unfortunately it will also take out the likes of me. But I've bought love before in many ways, right? So let's equate to currency. Let's equate me being the caterer in the house. No, don't worry, just put your feet up. Just to buy someone's loyalty, to say, she is a good one to go to keep around. But you know what happens with that? They cheat anyways. So I'm trying to say the currency element, let's not only keep it to the monetary element.
Yeah.
There's many things that women do to try and keep a man that should we equate this to money, you'll realize that return on investment, I've spent so much more on this man. I've spent so much more on this man, trying to keep this man, trying to help this man, because sometimes intentions are clearly and purely very, very genuine. I just want you to build your business. I just want you to get off your ass. I just want you to make sure that you have something that you're able to go to work every day or have something to do every day, but you took advantage of it. I took out 12,000 rands for you to start a business. If you've watched X Repo, my favorite show. X, you can scare it twice on a Monday.
Yay.
But those women are women who have done things like, I bought him these clothes. I've bought him these clothes. I took out a loan to buy these fridges to start a business so that we can be able to sustain ourselves. Now this man does not want to bring back what belongs to her, what she has bought, that we were sharing, but we're not together anymore. And you don't want to bring my shit back. And it breaks me because I see beyond just them being foolish, in inverted commas. That for me just shows a real deep emotional disconnect. Maybe a lack of confidence, self-confidence, self-love, that we don't identify and we don't see and we don't speak about. When are we going to actually sit down and speak to ourselves and say, and here's my thing, we try to prove our worth in many different ways when it comes to men. We try to prove our worth sexually by being the sexual beings and giving him sex even if we don't want and we don't consent, and you know what I mean? And we try to prove our worth emotionally by saying, I can go by the cool girlfriend, or I can go by the cool girlfriend, sorry, and I'm going to let him do this at the expense of your emotional well-being and your mental well-being. Your financial well-being, where you're taking out loans, where you are in debt. Your credit score has gone to... and I refuse. In fact, comment down. The ladies whose credit score is terrible now, and it's all thanks to a man. Sbanins, put up your hands.
You know, I like it when you say let's not limit it to monetary, because I remember there was this friend of mine, when we would go to her home, the mother of the house would have a special chair for the daughter's boyfriend. So if we happened to be there, right, and he was on his way or something, or he walks in, they would ask you to get up from that
particular chair.
so that he can sit there because that's his chair.
How toxic is that?
The mother. I'm not talking about
maybe
the girlfriend.
the mother genuinely likes the guy and she
But also, guys, our mothers have sold us to niggas.
Yo!
To niggas who either abused us, but because they had money,
So this thing of women hating, it's deeper than just walking into a room and looking at you sideways. It's deeply innate.
It is. That's why I said, it
so
color
deep.
from when we were small, and you form these cliques as young girls. Tina, we are against those ones, or Tina, we are better than they are. And then sikula nayo. And remember, as we grow up, our responsibilities and our exposures then become different, you know, in the sense that now I'm working, I've got money. So obviously I'm going to think I work a better job than Unolu. I'm going to have it's the same mentality, but a different dynamic. Damn. But it's exactly the same. So the issue is quite deep.
Is it not because, Bone, our mothers, for those who had mothers... No, we're not... but don't forget, Uguti, we are also...
Hold on.
There's
Utatako for that. 3 DNAs later, they still can't find the father. Please.
Hey. No, man, it could be. We saw our mothers giving abo baba that were not so deserving. Ubaba who would go to work and come back on a Monday and would not be asked, "Ukuthi ubuya phi?" You would see your mother still treat that guy with the same amount of respect. The same mother who would cough out 20 rand, so phumi imali yetamati endlini, to cook for the same man. We've seen it, right?
Okay,
Especially
let me say it like this for my experience. I never saw that happening in my home. Right?
Doesn't mean it's not happening.
No, I
though.
know. It doesn't mean that it's not happening, but I'm saying the behavior that I learned, and I know there are some like me who didn't learn it from home, but you pick it up in the streets, in the circles that you move around in, and it sort of becomes a norm, like your everyday life. So even the things that you do and say are informed by your background. So I'm not in total disagreement with the home, but I don't want us to shift the focus. Ibe ngathi now we're trying to find the blame from
Ubomama.
back there,
Yeah.
and because it's also a different generation, and I want to believe Ukjola Kwabo wasn't as open as we were. I don't know, but
Also-
besides Tatako, who is now embarrassing us. Kanto mama manje,
No, I also feel like we shouldn't look at it in isolation like that. And I think a lot of issues and a lot of behavioral traits really do stem from where we grew up and what we've seen, right? Maybe not directly from your parents, but from the community that you grew up in. And more so, even if your parents have been guilty of it, more so them. Because a lot of times we don't admit that this stems further than it does. There are people who are in a trend. I don't want to say in a trend, but let's say in a cycle that they repeat. And that toxic financial cycle of trying to buy this man, right? Constantly just throwing money in the hopes that this man will love them because they are unable to identify that this person loves me. They don't know how love looks like, feels like, if they're not the ones who are giving. If they're not the ones who are taking something out. So they feel love is people taking from them constantly, and they don't know what it feels like for love to be reciprocated to them. And when we think about it and you delve deep subconsciously, it probably is a background thing. It probably is what happened back in the day of seeing it from your
probably,
parents.
Tebi. All I'm saying is let's leave
Absolutely.
room for us also taking responsibility
For
for
our
the
own
poor
behavior.
choices that we make.
And in the very same breath, I completely agree with you in the same way of saying you are able to change that trajectory. You are
Sure.
able to say, my mom was actually quite toxic. My mom actually did this. My mom was the financial backbone of the house when my dad did absolutely nothing. And she did that so that my dad can come home every single night to get away from that. So high to come. I mean, I've seen things like your Jola 99, where this woman's going on like, Wena, usile ntlo ya hao ya Queen Betty, ling o tlo robala mo mokhukhung mo morutong. And you're like, see, you thought you doing all those things would keep this man away from what he does, but you're unable to identify or admit to yourself that this man actually does not love me, does not want to be part of this family. Now it's time for me to leave. It's definitely our responsibility to make sure that we don't repeat the acts that have been done to us when we were kids or what we have witnessed.
Okay.
So the question still remains, why do we buy love?
Because sometimes we don't see it as buying love. We see it
How
as...
did you see it, my friend? So let's talk from the moment that and how you felt for that guy at that moment. It felt right for you, absolutely. That's why you did it.
You know where the danger is.
Oh, no, you didn't.
You know where the danger is. Okay, for me, ne? First of all, my family didn't approve of this guy. Number
You
one.
wonder why.
No, the older I got, only then I understood why.
Okay.
Ne? This is my first relationship. This is the guy who broke my virginity. This is the guy I thought I'm going to end up with for the rest of my life, regardless of whether ekaya bayamfuna or abamfuni. So you're left with proving that this guy is worthy, forgetting that you are the sacrificial lamb to make this relationship work.
Sacrificial
Yeah,
lamb. Taking
So,
it to church.
For me, it was stupid, but I had this thing at the back of my head, which he is deserving, he is worthy. And going to Tepi's point, when I look at it, it was, I wasn't fully aware that there's parts of me that didn't heal from my own father not being present, that I wanted this guy to be present. I saw udedi in this guy. I saw this
Build something
with
that
this
you
guy.
didn't have.
Yeah, but I wasn't feeling worthy. That's why I had to buy the love. But at that time, I didn't see it as buying the love.
sure.
I saw it as love. I saw it as support. And there are women that I know that are doing it and it's working for them. I don't know ukuthi baba tata ushilu something so wethu ukuthi ngeke ubabone but bakhona, they are there. But but I feel like it's not knowing better at the time. And obviously you want to prove that this guy is worthy. This nizobona. Mama, I know you don't like this guy, but uzobona. I see something in him. Don't be, you just see dick, that's all. That's all.
We also should admit and call a spade that there's nothing that's keeping you there except the fact that this man gives you good bronyakos.
Can I say something? Can I
And
add
we
something?
will never admit that.
Can I add? For me, ne, I don't know how to say it. Dandifunuba fast. I wanted to be 560. Is it 560? What do you call it?
What does that mean?
Like a main chick. I wanted to be main.
Oh, you wanted to be the main.
People, no, I wanted people to know that no lukabani. You know, growing up in Lokshin, and my friends at the time, well, not even all of us had boyfriends, but those who had, they were known as ubani kabani.
Oh.
And I wanted that. I wanted that. That is why I'm so against Okanye. I'm saying let us not even say it's not entirely a background
Because for
thing.
you it was a choice
because
thing.
for me it was a choice. Is what I had seen my friends were experiencing. You know, it's December. Hey, their boyfriends are coming through, fetching everybody. They're even taking us along. You know, those who weren't dating. We scheme, you know, but they're like, no, let's all go. There's space in the cars. I mean, what the hell? Let's all go have fun. And we would. And we would go with them. But at the back of my mind, I wish this was my boyfriend doing this. I wish this was my boyfriend. So I tried so hard to get him to a place where he would do that.
Do you think also it was the yearning of belonging? And not maybe necessarily to a particular clique, but for you to be claimed. Does that make sense? So yeah, you wanted to be someone.
It you know, as I say, for me it wasn't even about my parents or whatever. Like, I didn't grow up living with my dad, but I knew my dad loved me so much and he was ever present for everything, even though my parents weren't together at the time. Same goes for my mom. But because I had never had a boyfriend, and I also had this idea of what a boyfriend would be and should be in my head, and then I experienced it through my friends, and I was like, no man, Nancy, this is it. Nami ngiyayifuna. Uyabona? So I worked extra time, you know, making sure ukuthi guys clean man makuti, and so that we can have that relationship. But it was also tiring because I was the one who was working extra time. He was just being like, just chill, dog. I'm just like, Masia waterfront. Let's, you know, let's be that. You know what? Let's do this. Let's do that. But he was like so chill. He's like, no, I'm tired. I'm from work. And even if he would be at home, I'd still be like, okay, but then I want to come sit with you at home.
You know that saying that says, don't be a wife to a boyfriend.
Yeah.
And how often that gets thrown around and how often that got thrown around. And I think for the longest time for me, it was always, the lines were always blurred there. Right? Because for me, let me equate my currency to the type to what I offer in the household.
Sure.
Right? And men, whether you see this as a currency or not, it really is up to you. If in fact someone said, Didi Manen, in fact, she said, men choose what they, how did she put it? I need to articulate it in the way that she did. Basically saying, the men who keep asking, what do you bring to the table? What do you bring to the table? Your father never asked your mother what she brought to the table because she knew what your mother brought to the table. That house was a home because of your mother. The house functioned because of your mother. So it's not a matter of what you bring to the table because you are making it a financial thing. Because we are golding, but you don't have any gold for us to mine. But it's fine. Then you say to us, then boom. No shots. I don't want to be spicy to South African men today. I just wanted to be. So, but what I'm trying to say is, men, and let me throw it out there. Men lately don't see and choose to not see the value that a woman brings in the household and in their lives, right? Because you're seeing it as things will just function the way that they do. But in your home, the man that you are today was very much because of how your mom ran this household. When your dad just sat back and brought the money. If he did bring the money in this case. So for me, I always felt like, and as a baby girl, laced in misogyny, laced in patriarchy, not misogyny. Take that back. And that's how I was raised. I was raised in, this is how it's going to go. Right?
My cousin's mom.
Right? They say things like wa tsoga fro o fiela lebala o fiela mogotha gore o gone le gona gore le bona ba bone gore le wena wa gona o fiela. You right? So my currency has always been in what I can physically do because it's how I was taught.
Sure.
It's how I was laced in life that everything that I do is for a man and should be for a man or should be for his family, for Bogad.
Yes.
And it was never for me. It was never for myself.
Yeah.
It was never tseba go tlhatswa dijana, o tsebe go tlhatswa dijana for yourself. Tseba go reka A, B, and C, and that is for yourself. It was never taught to me that way. And as a result, I got into life like that. I got into relationships like that. That what I brought into the relationship might not necessarily be financial, but if we have to equate it, ke tlo mapiela, ke tlo mdiela washing. Wa etsa washing ya monna. Ke tlo fitla ka dia spring cleaning ka gagaye, ka bula dikhaboto, ka ba motho o koropa, a ke sa koropa ka mopo sesi, ke koropa ka eng ka skoropo. My poor niece. Do you understand? Yeah. And that for me, it was always Why would he leave? Because this is how I was taught. Okay, fine. It's fine. But what I do know how to do, and then I get and that for me is the most toxic thing.
Yeah.
And it was always to try and keep a man. And on average, I've gone way past 6 people. Which I've almost done these 2. And I'm going to say 6. Let's keep it on 6, okay? That's my number and I'm sticking to it. I've gone on average of 6. Could be less. On average of 6 men, trying to obviously make sure that this man stays because he sees value in me. He's just like, yeah, we're almost sad. And the
sad part is that, and what men would not admit is that sometimes these things that we do for them, they actually annoy them. Yeah.
When I'm tired.
No, they
back
annoy
is so.
them because
Okay.
I actually can't think of a reason why. If say, if you've sat with Ube and you're talking about the future and your visions seem to be aligned, why he wouldn't stay if you're bringing like all of this. Say everything that you're bringing is what he says he wants in a woman and he doesn't stay. My thing is, I want to believe that men are so clever. They're very clever. And one thing about men, they know their worth. Let's exactly. And we have a lot to learn from men. Men know their worth. Men would never stick around for something that doesn't make sense to them. But that doesn't say abazoncuva.
What's tuncuva?
Translate somebody. Translate kaloku. Kuthiwa isiXhosa stoliko. Whoever's going to be doing the subtitles
There's
with
no one
Toleka.
going to be doing the subtitles. You are the subtitle.
Opportunists. You know, I think that's the word. It doesn't sound great in English. Yeah,
on
you
the
know,
table.
but it doesn't say that men abazoncuva. And the reason I'm saying abazoncuva is because they be annoyed by what you're doing, ne? Saying, but she's doing too much. I didn't ask her for this to do. And we teta negents this thing. She's just trying too hard. I know Tebi is cooked. Let's go to my place. Tebi, you know, but you're doing something that he's not ready for at also that moment. So, one, you're giving him anxiety. Two, it's almost like you're pressuring him to propose to you, whereas he could see the potential and he could see the future with you. But when are you doing all these unnecessary things? You being a wife, you being a mother.
But why don't they just say? Why don't
That's
they
why
just
I'm
say?
saying
opportunist.
because they're
They
gonna
won't
sit
say
in
no.
the comfort of your home. You're gonna do their washing for them. You're gonna cook for them. You're gonna be everything they want in a wife, but they're just not looking for a wife
In
at
you.
that moment and in you.
Oh.
You know that thing, I'm not ready for a relationship. No. It's not that you're not ready for a relationship. It's just that you're not ready for a relationship or don't want a relationship with me.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying men are clever, guys. If we really need to, if we really ought to be honest with ourselves, is that men go through life in stages. And maybe they also have a hard time articulating what they're going through, but you see it in their actions, man. Uguti, the reason why a man would never stay because you cheated, first of all. Why would he never stay?
Because he knows his worth.
Why do you stay?
Because I don't know my worth.
Why do you stay?
A guy I once dated also said that to me. He's like, "Mina nga cheater," and you stay. Just know that you don't know your worth. Just know you don't know your worth. And silly me, I stay.
You're gonna stay.
Yo, it's just we need to heal. We need to heal. Women, we need to heal.
It's
because we were not.
That's the part where we then go back to the background. Maybe we didn't see ukuzithanda from our mothers. What does it mean for a woman to love herself instead of cleaning, stoop, and the cooking and whatnot for a man, but you're doing it for you. You know, it all stems from there. But hey, it is what it is. Zithandeni madoda. Nibadlale.
Sure, that's actually quite an interesting way to put it. And to look at it, and very seldom we ever get to that point where we look at relationships like that. And I remember sort of seeing relationship as transactional, and once again, I always say maybe it is transactional, except when one is pulling, and that's all it is, then that's the problem, but we're unable to identify it.
You know, to Nolu's point, ukuthi asizithandi, I think sometimes ukuzithanda comes with pain that we're not ready to face. Yeah. Reason being, uma uzithanda, or when you do love yourself and you have to decide because you can see that this guy is not in it for the right reasons. I'm not with this guy for the right reasons. Perhaps I'm codependent on this guy. Therefore, I will stay because I'm afraid of 1, 2, 3. I will stay because ukuzithanda means I have to decide to leave this person and I'm not yet ready to face life outside of this person.
But what's wrong, guys, with staying a little bit long until you're ready to leave? They say women leave this man when they are in the house. So my ability to leave won't be as simple as he cheated and I'm going. Men can do that. Congratulations to you. But we're just unfortunately unable to do that, and it will take us a little bit longer. But does that mean that I'm unable to love myself? Because here's the thing, right? If I leave now because I leave out of, he cheated, and look, it's a very valid reason to leave. Absolutely, fuck off if that's definitely what you want to do. But also if you feel like you know you are unable to do that, that's why people say, 6 years ago we broke up, but we're still going back and forth. Because you were never ready to leave this man. You were pondering with the idea. You wanted him to nega you to come back. So here's not a suggestion. Here's what I think, right? Does that make you a person who hates themselves if you're saying, I'm going to sit in this house, detach myself, make plans for myself, because also it's a plan thing, hey? And many times we leave and we don't have a plan. That's why we'll come back, because so it makes me comfortable. So I come back for the security element. So me sitting at home, finding an escape plan. Making sure that I embezzle as much money as I will from this man. Save as much money as I will for myself. Make sure that by the time I leave, I have a place of my own. I have a car of my own. Or maybe not even a car. I have a place of my own. I have a job of my own that will sustain me and my children if I have children. So that when I leave, he will never bring me back. And he will never dangle the carrot of money, of a car, of a house, because I already know it's time for me to leave. And look, maybe many of our parents have been the same way. Maybe my mom was that type of person who said, I'm going to leave. And she unfortunately died a victim. So there are people who we see who are in these relationships. And maybe, unfortunately, sometimes you stay a little bit longer and get trapped and moored in the mix of things, right? But that's, you're trying to find an escape plan. I'm talking about those who are trying to find an escape plan. I'm not talking about the battered wife syndrome ones, which is a completely different story that we need to discuss one day, right?
You know,
does that make you... Is that self-hate?
No.
I don't think it makes you hate yourself entirely, but what I do think, firstly, is what Khomotso said, you're afraid to face your demons. And the one demon being your need for this man. Is that you don't see yourself surviving and living outside of this man. That is your biggest demon, because you've now made this man your entire world and your reason for breathing. And the minute you accept and admit to yourself that I have made Utshepi my reason for breathing, I think that is because we tend to think that when you're in love, you need to lose your common sense. And when you're in love, it is when you should apply common sense. Because love cannot not make sense. Because it's unheard of that it doesn't make sense, because it's supposed to be this beautiful thing that you experience with someone, you know, going through life's hardships.
It makes life so easy. It
You
should
know-
make life easy for each other.
You know what I mean? But the minute we take common sense away, and unfortunately, that is what we as women tend to do. We take the common sense away and we put this love that we see on the Bold and Beautiful and we think it's real. And then we are afraid to go back to the place that hurt us or to the reason why we even entered into this relationship, knowing that Usimpiwe is not going to be faithful to me. But what is my reason for yearning to be with Usimpiwe? That is why I said in the previous episodes when I closed off, you need to heal before you go.
We need to have a t-shirt that says, heal before you go.
I agree.
Yes. But also
It's a
there's...
joke, but it truly is a reality for many people. Hey.
But there's also this notion that... But there's also this notion that love is supposed to be easy. Love doesn't have hardship. But this is where I'm going. I'm going to take it to God. Please correct me if I'm wrong. No. I'm going to take it to God because they say when you pray for strength, and you say, oh God, give me strength, God is not going to give you physical strength, but he's going to put you in a situation or he's going to give you a challenge that's going to make you have the strength. It's the same as saying, God, give me wisdom. You don't think Nkulunkulu is going to give you wisdom in a sense yokuthi uzohlakanipha like that, but he's going to put you in a situation that will afford you the opportunity yokuthi ube sharp, you know. So even with love, in love there are challenges, and some of those challenges they have to do with finance. For instance, to Tepi's point, yokuthi mhlambe ngifuna ukuhamba, but because we have a joint account, it's not that easy for me to just pack up and go.
Yeah.
I need to have a plan B, of which women a lot of the times in relationships, before I leave, I'm already working on my plan B. When by that time that you are trying to clean up your act, because it's not like men don't see, hey, langathi sakazohamba lo. That's when they start cleaning up their act. It's not like they don't see. A lot of them, they do see, and then they act surprised. Ciao, I'm out. You know, I have a friend. She was living with her baby daddy, and she could see, no man, this relationship is not going anywhere. For instance, guy promised to come lobola. Nge weekend yok lobola, guy was nowhere to be found. You know, she came back home. They lived together in an apartment, and she realized, no man, this thing is not going anywhere. This guy is sleeping around. This guy is doing this. This guy. She literally had to work on a. I remember it took her almost 2 years. I'm leaving. I'm leaving, but I just can't up and leave. I don't earn enough. I need to save up enough for an apartment because it's not just me. It's me and the baby. I need to make sure Utu Yeskolweni is right. You know, you don't just up and leave. That's the challenge that comes with love.
And that's where the common sense applies. That's where the common sense applies. But I also want to correct this notion, Yoguti, love is supposed to be easy. I don't know where people get that. And if they're referencing it back to the Bible, then they're not reading the Bible correctly. I have to say it. Because if we're talking about love and we're saying God is love, then we have to think, Yoguti, in what way has God shown his love for us as human beings? How did he show his love?
He sacrificed his own begotten son.
Exactly.
Yeah, I hope I'm saying it right.
Look at Tebi blinking her eyes. We're going to take her to church because that's what she did. And was that an easy sacrifice? If you think about it, when as a parent, would you sacrifice your only child to die for people that, you know, that are not deserving, that are not repentant, that are not sorry for what they've done? But you're asking your son who has not partaken in all of this to bear the brunt. So if that is not the ultimate definition of what love is, then I don't know. If you're saying you're a Christian and you're referencing your idea of what love is based on biblical terms, then that is the ultimate. But if you're not a Christian and you have other ideas, then so be it. But for me, biblically, God is love, and his love was shown on the cross, sacrificing his
and
son.
God can be really hard.
You see? So how is love, how are we then defining that our experience of love should be easy?
Amen.
Don't do that. Don't do that. See, I just preached to Spew. I took him to church.
Look, can I flip the table around?
Yes. Okay.
Right? Why do we also then not see the financial element as a sense of love? Okay, let me rephrase that. Okay, why is it that why do we judge the women who take money out for the people that they love, whether or not they're being played? Let's take away from the ones who are being played. Poor you, I'm so sorry. Let's talk about the ones who are not being played. The ones who are really in a meaningful, fruitful position with their partners. But their partners are falling in hard times. And they're saying, Kie chalete, kie katiaka, kie this, kie that. Why do we see and label those women as stupid?
Because a lot of the times, the result is always the man getting out of it, asihete, asinixi. It's not his credit record that's not being...
But a man can do the same thing for you. They always say men date down. They say men will go and date someone who has nothing and give them everything. But when we do the same thing, why do we still judge the women?
It's a power thing, man. I feel like men that date down, it's a power thing. I need to have, of course, it's a power thing. I need to have some form of control over you. So if I know that I'm coughing the bill for your rent, I'm paying for your house, I'm paying for your hair, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, there's absolutely no fucking way that you're just gonna walk out without a proper plan. And if he knows that he's your plan, guaranteed you're stuck there until you can think for yourself.
So why do we label women stupid, but we don't label men stupid? Did you see what you said? You called it a power thing. Why can't it be a power dynamic for a woman as well?
It is. It is for women as well. There are women that know very well who I'm powerful because I'm paying for his rent. I'm powerful because I'm powerful because...
Then Ramuseba.
So, and then you are not powerful.
But you see, Ramuseba, then we say things like that. But for men, we never give them that same energy.
And I fully agree with you. And I'm going to relate this experience that I experienced. It's not monetary, but it speaks to exactly what you're saying. So when I started dating my husband, Obviously, I had moved away from Cape Town. I'm now in Pretoria, and I had gone to visit in Cape Town. Of course, I'm linking up with my friends and whatnot. So in our circle and in the area that we grew up, I don't know, for those who grew up in Lokshini and who know how Ilokishi is, there's a way in which we talk about men, right? Ukuthi hi amadoda zizinja ayajola onke and you know, and then we sit with our older sisters, aunties, and whatnot, and we listen to their conversations as well, in you know, about their relationships and whatnot, and that immediately becomes a part of us, ne? And how we view relationships. And back then, I could not articulate what I was feeling, but it was always an unsettling feeling for me, ne? So I moved away to Pretoria, and I then started dating my now husband. And when I had gone back home, before we got married, we were still dating. I even remember the setting that we were like sitting on a bed conversating, and then my husband called me, or before, I don't know if he sent a message or something, but he was my screensaver. And my one friend said to me, Chomi, why is your screensaver? You, amadoda, umbeke wena as your screensaver. That time yena akakusavanga as a screensaver. Listen, she doesn't even know my man, ne? That time yena akakubekanga as a screensaver. Wena ulapha uti baby, and you're thinking, number one, that time you are number 16 on the line. That's what she said to me. She doesn't know my man. She doesn't know the relationship that I have with my man. That has sat with me to this day. And it just showed Uguti how misinformed and how toxic, maybe for a lack of a better word.
Toxic is definitely the word.
Okay. The environment in which we grew up in and the conversations that we were having, particularly about men. Because I can tell you now, he was my screensaver, I was his screensaver.
And even if it wasn't.
You know, it didn't matter.
It didn't matter.
It didn't matter. But why did she feel the need to say what she said? You know what I mean?
Is it not maybe experience? Mhlampe her experience. Because sometimes we tend to take our...
Why is she imposing her experience on my experience? Why is she not allowing me to be happy in my relationship without saying the negative part of your relationship?
Yeah, but the thing is, a lot of the time,
happily married.
a lot of the times in relationships, women, we tend to give unsolicited advice.
Why?
And angazi mhlambe ngicabanga ukuthi I'm saving you. Akithibi.
So saying now I was saving you from that guy utseng 12 down. And then God was stela sesiwe stela espinda pindene. Ne? Years later, you guys have a successful business in selling material. You guys have your own builder's warehouse. Example. Say for an instant, he was not there trying to pull a heist on you, which he did with his father. But say he wasn't, you know, and someone comes and approaches you in that manner. And like you said, we do offer unsolicited advice that we don't need, or commentary that we may not necessarily need, or projection. I could not say experience. That's projecting your experiences on her that have absolutely nothing to do with her or her relationship or her current relationship for that matter. So you took out 12,000 Rand once alone. Kanti, now you are Investec banking, babes. Now the 12,000 Rand isiyandile manje isizalile to more than that. Now you've got all the money in the world. Why are we as women also not able to take, and I'm going to use the word, a risk?
I think it's because I get not the stats, but I would say
90%.
I would say 90% of the time, men that actually don't take advantage of basadi, or women that don't take advantage of banna. Man. It's like a teaspoonful. A lot of the times.
But that shouldn't override the fact that there are men You can't want to make me feel bad for being in a happy relationship because of your experience. And number two, in you offering this unsolicited,
Unsolicited. It's like it's about Khoa, guys.
Nyambona. Unsolicited advice is what I find very strange is that when we caution you about your man, about all guards up, oh no, baby, you jealous of our relationship. So when is this unsolicited advice actually taken, and when is it accepted, and when is it not accepted? Because I can see your man cheating, and I would tell you, and even this I've experienced, your man would be cheating, and I would tell you, and your man would tell you, oh no, you jealous baby of us.
And this is why I personally don't tell people. I would see your man in the mall with some. I would never. As much as you're my friend and I love you, I promise you I would never, because I've learned to stay out of indaba zabantu.
I'm giving you permission.
Wena uzobe ume lapha in front of the whole church in Kuqene lapha niqolelene.
And then the devil spirits, and you are the devil spirit.
And I'm the devil spirit.
Please.
No ways.
Okay.
I ain't telling
Last
you
parting
so.
shots on this one, ladies.
Yo, guys.
Guys, if you
but a fire.
if
you are the fire.
if you
Don't do that.
if you do find yourself out here how chelete, and not personally from my own experience, I know in the beginning I said I would not. But if we're married and we seem to have a healthy marriage and we are honest with each other, I know a lot of the times banna ba actor, you can never know when he's completely truly honest. Yeah, I know, but I'm saying parting shots. We are married, and I can see your intentions, and I can feel, because also there's this thing that we don't talk about. Umuntu wakho uyamfila apha. So wenziswa inkani yokuthi no uzoshintsha but you know deep down in your heart ukuthi le bova le, he's not going to change. This bova mania is not changing anytime soon. So personally, I would say, Ntombi, you know your heart. You know him. No mungayikhohlisa kanjani. You know. Listen to your gut instincts. Listen to it. If it tells you, then don't. If it tells you, don't share an account with him, then don't. Sing a force. Yes, you're forced.
Yeah, I think those are my passing shots.
Don't foster.
I think maybe also that love equals common sense, guys.
Yeah.
Hey,
Don't lose your common sense.
Sometimes 12K, Papa. In on it.
And that's where the danger is.
That's where the danger is.
Do you want us to get ex-repo to come get your 12,000?
Nah, I'm over it. I'm cool.
Well, you're just asking, it's possible. There's help for you. I think for me, I always believe in love, and I always say that if it felt right for you at the time, then it was right. We live with so many regrets in life and so many regrets in relationships. And if you taking out that 12,000 rand felt right at that time, then it was right. Now it's absolutely stupid, absolutely. But, at that time it felt right for you, and that is all that matters. And there's nothing that you can do. Your gut feeling and how you feel is right at that moment. Sungena indaba zabantu. With that being said, it's been an awesome episode. Thank you so much. Oh, and also, once again, my parting shots, I would just never do it. I would personally, obviously, never do it, and that's the reason why I'm single. It's because I'm quite selfish.
27th August.
100%.
Yeah, let's continue the conversation.
Melrose Arc. It's going to be really, really awesome. We continue the conversation, like Nolu said. We're opening up the conversation. We're opening up tables. We also are inviting you to be part of the table.
And your man.
And your man. We always see a lot of comments going under this saying, can I be part? Can I be part? Can I be part? This is definitely an opportunity for you to be part of the conversation, to be part of the table, to let in on your conversations. And no, gents, it will still be women telling their experiences. It really has nothing to do with you, but it has everything to do with the woman and her experience. Your duty here is to listen, is to learn, and is to be less ignorant. That's what On the Table is all about. Cuisino, Melrose Arch, thank you so much for hosting us. Thank you so much, chillers. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. It's been amazing. This has been On the Table. Goodbye.
Bye.